All right, I'm gonna take another stab at this here. Apparently, first time I ran through this, the microphone wasn't quite working, but now I can see my lips are actually moving, so the microphone is picking this up now, so we should be good to go. Welcome back to Rob's Arcade, everybody. I am your host, Mr. Rob, of course. Just kind of hanging out with you, doing actually one of my favorite things here on Rob's Arcade, which has always just been little, like, testimonials. And I love doing them in this fashion where I'm kind of hanging out with you guys in the beautiful hills of Los Santos, California here, like in this, virtual video game world where it's Rob's Arcade, and it's kind of like a talk show type theme where we're just like hanging out on the couch and just doing some kind of catch up with you guys. So it's a very cool blend of what I like to do, which is the face to face testimonials. This is what's going on, whether I'm like walking around or just sitting on a couch or in my car, and then also doing these little, you know, uh, video game videos, if you will. So it's a very cool mix of both. And I mentioned again, like getting back into this version of the GTA with this character and this avatar, and it's just been really cool to I don't know, get back into this. This has just always been one of my I do a lot of Fortnite videos and just sharing old games and just different games that I play in general. But this is just, I don't know. I've always just liked this, just hanging out with you guys here in GTA with this really cool avatar, this kind of like talk show format. We did a little bit in April, trying to catch you guys up. April's been crazy. I was just kind of mentioning how there's always a lot going on. It's like, the end of the school year is upon us. I do a lot of work with like middle school and high school students. So it's a little bittersweet knowing that, like, it's kind of coming to an end. And there's also just extremely busy. Like, you're kind of looking forward to that break over the summertime where you get a little chance to kind of relax and, reset your mind before the next school year starts. But um, you really have to earn it, if you will. Like there's a lot of uh, like work that goes into getting ready for the end of the year and with graduations and end of the year ceremonies and school trips and just all those things that we have to put into order. So yeah, there's it's always busy doing work, like I said, with the school and with students. But yeah, man, as you start to wrap up the school year, you definitely earn that break. And it's a little, again, bittersweet because last year when it came to the the break and the time to step away, I had the next year to look forward to. There was some, you know, uh, time to take away and to do um, some planning and knowing that we would be coming back and there would be more. This is a little bittersweet because like it's ending. It's giving me a chance to take a break and kind of like regroup after a long school year. But I also know that after this year wraps and we kind of wrap up our programming in June, that there isn't um, a space for me to kind of step in and do the same stuff next year. And so it's kind of sad. I'm actually kind of surprised at myself. This program that I oversee at this local middle school is vastly different than like the volunteer group and club that I oversee. All teenagers. I work with middle school students in both groups, but these kids at this tutoring program, it is relentless and it is endless and it is and not in any way any exaggeration. Um, but from the beginning of the school year to the very last day of the school year with them, they still got a couple of weeks left in school, but my entire year with them, from the time we started this program until it wrapped up just yesterday, it has been 3 days a week, except for, like I said, spring breaks and when they're out of school. But it has been 3 days a week, about 2 hours of sit down, stop running, do your work, sit down, stop running, keep your hands to yourself, don't do that, stop yelling, don't touch that, let that go, leave them alone, I don't care, put that down, don't do that, sit down, stop running around, do your work, sit down, don't cuss, watch your language, keep your hands to yourself every day, like 3 days a week. Like I said, it's insane. And then to the point where it's, as soon as I walk in the door, Mr. Robert, Mr. Robert, Mr. Robert, Mr. Robert, everybody. It's, 30 kids and all of them at one time. None of them understand, like, they're literally standing in a group of 7 around me, all saying Mr. Robert at the same time, all asking me 7 different things, and neither one of them, none of them, are aware that there's somebody else, another student, standing directly next to them doing the exact. It's complete unawareness, and every day like a resetting of the clock, where all the rules that were implemented on Tuesday go out the door on a Wednesday, and then those rules that are implemented on a Wednesday go out the door on a Thursday, and it's just kind of like a brutal Groundhog Day, if you will. And so there's a lot of stress involved, and you really do look forward to those days where you have when your winter breaks and all of that. But um, again, very heartbreaking yesterday, and I didn't realize it like I thought. I was like, man, I'm really going to look forward to this last day. Um, but it was actually kind of like, God, yeah, I'm really going to miss it. And again, as I get more information and where it seems I'm going to be landing in my new position, as much as I would like to say that, like, yeah, I'll be available. Like, I want to step in. I want to continue to work with these students. I put a lot of work and effort into the volunteer club that I work with, and trying to improve it and make it more noticeable around our branch. And there are people that I work with that, when I first kind of took this role over, had assumed that this was something that I started. Like, did you put this together? And like, um, we know you're like a program director, and you're putting it. But like, did you create this? And it's like, no, 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 no. I'm just trying to help facilitate what's already here. And my goal was really to like stick around next year with this tutoring program and do the same thing that I did with this volunteer group. Like, really beef it up, put some some extra meat on the sandwich, if you will, and, make it something that could one day, like, nobody's even really heard of the program that we do. And, it's kind of like it's more of a local thing. And it really works with like immigrant children and children from other countries and refugees and stuff like that. Um, so, like, knowing that I won't have that opportunity next year is really sad. Like, that's something that I really was looking forward to, and been trying to commit to. But just even going into my new role, like what I do now, leaving, you know, a couple of hours a day to go take care of this is kind of like part of my schedule and part of like what I do here. Sorry, just take a little sip of coffee there, but it's kind of like what I do, and what I, you know, it's part of what I do. So like having that freedom to take time in my afternoons to go to this middle school and do that is very easy. I don't know that I'll have that freedom. Like, how does that fit in when there's probably going to be a great need for me um, to fill those 40 maybe plus hours a week in this new role? Will I have the freedom in that position to step away for 2 hours, 3 days a week to oversee this and give it that attention. And to be honest, I don't know that it's possible. Like, I'm willing to juggle both. I feel like it's not impossible, but I just don't know. I don't see that even from like my supervisor's standpoint, something that's going to be um, easily, like just easily manageable. Already, kind of like I can see the need for me in the role that I will be stepping into currently. Like there's already a current need. Um, there's after school stuff popping off, and we got summer camp things that are going to be kicking off in a couple of weeks here, and it's already become quite evident that um, you know there's a need for me in that position now. So already now trying to manage like what I do currently, and then trying to make time for where I'm going to be stepping into. Um, I don't know that once I'm fully in that role, if again, I'll be able to step away. And then also, just in terms of hearing like how it's going to be seen and how it's going to be run, it doesn't look like it's going to be necessarily something that's going to fall into my department anyway. And part of the whole thing with what they're doing, whether you call it a realignment or restructuring or however this looks, um, is to eliminate that idea of, okay, well, why is Robert overseeing this program if this is a community outreach program? Why is Robert overseeing this program if this is a program dealing with, you know, uh, supporting teens? If he's operating in a whole other department now, why is he in charge of this? And that's kind of like what's happening now is, you know, um, trying to figure out why I'm overseeing this um, program if it should be maybe more of a community outreach program. And if that's the case, then a community outreach director or supervisor or something should be overseeing. It makes a little bit of sense into what I'm saying, but um, I guess making sure that the program is aligning with you know that director, and that director is aligning with what programs they should be running. So just in a standpoint of like how things are looking structurally, somebody else will probably be in charge of that, all together. So, gosh, yeah, knowing all that, it's just been, like I said, super super bittersweet because like I said yesterday, we're wrapping up our last day, and all of the kids are like, is Star going to be here next year? And are we going to have this next year? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to have this next year. I would love to have this program here for you guys. But, how do you tell them, like, I don't know what that looks like? So all you can do is like, yeah, yeah, that's what I hope so, guys. I hope to see you next year. I hope you're back next year. And just give them that little bit of encouragement. And then literally, it's heartbreaking. It's super heartbreaking. They're like throwing their hands out the bus, like trying to give me a high five as they're pulling away, like that one last second, like Mr. Robert, just hey, I miss you, man. And it's just hugs and stuff. It's super sweet, super, super duper sweet. And I was kind of able to kind of hold it together. My eyes were stinging, getting misty here from time to time, and getting a little choked up. But I'm like, trying to keep a brave face and stuff. And then the kicker here was yesterday as I'm getting ready to head out, my phone's ringing. My staff has left, all the tutors have left, and the kids are on the bus, and I'm getting ready to head out myself, and my phone starts vibrating, and I see my supervisor, who's really not my supervisor anymore because, again, there's like a whole realignment, restructuring, but she's begged to stay on this last month here and kind of oversee what I'm doing and help me out, and bless her heart. And so she comes whipping into the parking lot, and I look at my phone, and it's her on my caller ID, and she'd taken me out to lunch earlier yesterday too, and um, we were both talking about just how emotional it is, and she was wrapping up one of her last days of a tutoring program she does, and I'm wrapping up mine, and we're just kind of sharing all this, and so I saw her like whipping in. I'm thinking like, what is she even doing here? Like, she should be off doing her own little thing or whatever. And I got a little worried actually. Like she comes like flying into the parking lot. Doesn't even really pull into a space. Just kind of like stops in between like three or four parking spaces. All cockeyed kind of. And then um, I kind of pull up next to her because I'm already in my car leaving, and she literally like just like I thought, she was gonna like um, just roll down her window. We were gonna do like cop style, like like two cruisers in a parking lot, like just kind of sitting there, like hey, what's up, man? What's going on? How's your day? What's going on? Hey, I just need to tell you something real quick, whatever, blah blah blah. But I pulled up next to her and she leaps out the car to a point where now I'm thinking like something's wrong, right? Like, oh shit, what's happening, right? Like, oh my god. She hops out the car and I get out the car and she just gives me a huge hug and she's just like, I just wanted to get here. I was like, I raced here to give you a hug and blah blah blah. I just wanted to. I was like, I was like, oh my god. I was like, really? I was like, Sophie. She's like, yeah. Well, I just finished Ridge and I was really upset, and I figured you were upset, and blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to come here and just tell you did a great job. And she was like, I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm getting choked up now. But I'm like, Sophie, you were so, I was doing fine. I was holding it together. And then Sophie raced in to give me a hug. And I got back in my car. I gave her another hug, like, oh my God, Sophie, you're so sweet. Let me give you a hug now. I love you. You're amazing. Um, and I got back in my car and I'm like driving away and I'm like, God, like that was just so beautiful. Like she did not have to do that. And the fact that she did, it meant the freaking world to me. But it was just one of those things, man. Like, I'm going to our teen club last night. Our volunteer club also meets on Thursdays, and just kind of hanging out with them and doing the things that we do and having like, elections for the next year. And I'm realizing like I'm not going to be a part of that piece, you know. Um, and again, it's tough because I look forward to the break. The kids, they drive me crazy. They don't listen. I've made this comment before, and it's so true. You have to remind them of things that are constantly due, right? Um, they will only do them the day before or the day of them being due. They could have 2 weeks to fill out an application or 2 weeks to put something together, and they're not going to do it until the day of. They will pester you with questions of things that are weeks and months away. You know, we do like a spring overnight kind of trip thing with other clubs. Usually happens in this month, and they'll be asking me questions about it in February, January. There's snow on the ground, and they're asking me about a spring overnight trip. When is it? What time are we leaving? What time is the bus getting there? What should I pack? Like, guys, don't. We'll figure that out. Let's worry about this thing we're doing now. That's due now, right? Then, as the trip gets here and there's things they need to fill out for this spring overnight. Have you done it? Have you got to get? No, no. You were asking me about this thing 6 months ago, and now that it's here, I'm literally begging you to pay for it or to fill out this little questionnaire that's going to help the guy putting this thing together give you the best experience. Like you wanted this thing 6 months ago. That's all you talked about. Or when is it? When is it? How much is it going to be? Where is it going to be? Can I go? Okay, okay. And then it gets here. They've been begging me, questioning me. Are you go? No, I can't go. Huh? Oh no, we do a family trip. I forgot every on that same week. Drive me nuts. But again, it's like you get a couple of weeks away, you get a summer away, refresh, regroup, reprocess, get your brain back together, and then you jump back into it with them. But again, just like, realizing yesterday, like here we are, we're in May. We've got about 4 weeks left. School's over, and then, you know, there's somebody else's there's somebody else's issue after that. Like they're no longer my responsibility, if you will. I'm fortunate in this that like I'm staying in the same branch, and I will get to see them, and I will get to like hang out with them, and I'm going to try to stay in contact with the kids who are going on to high school, and try to continue doing my work with the local middle school that I'm currently working with too, even if it's in a different you know capacity of what I'm doing now. But it's tough. It really is. I didn't realize yesterday. I mean, I knew how much they mean to me, um, but just even not only was this, the touring program wrapping up, Star wrapping up, but so also knowing that some of these other things are going to be coming to an end here, pretty soon. Uh, it's it's tough, like I said, because you can, visibly see the connection and the importance, and how much these middle school students look up to me and look up to the tutors. And it's not just me. It's not just like myself that's responsible for this, but my staff that helped me. Um, the tutors, the staff that oversee the tutors, the students from that school as well. There's a lot of moving pieces in it. I'm glad I get to be a part of it. I'm glad I get to like kind of be the one to kind of oversee, and almost, I guess I'm kind of like a conductor. I don't really do much more than just kind of like wave a stick around. Or it's really the staff, the couple that I have working for me, um, and like I said, all the tutors throughout the year, and they're really the ones playing the different instruments, and kind of connecting with the audience, if you will, which is the students that we work with. And again, I'm just kind of up there, just kind of like moving the pieces around and making sure everybody kind of like staying on track, staying on beat, and just trying to keep them all flowing in that same rhythm. Um, but you know, luckily I'm off today. It's just like God, yesterday, like it was. Like I said, my supervisor took me out to eat, and I was like, she mentioned a few things, and it was like Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, that's it right there. Like easy menu, don't got to think too much. I'm already overthinking everything as it is. And then I feel like even since like I mean it's been uh, a couple of weeks now, or like, but I really feel like since like our Easter event, um, that my head has just been reeling. It's been one thing after another, and you know, um, the fact that also like I'm doing like this volunteer club, and these like teen nights. Doing We did a movie night. We watched Fern Gully, which was a lot of fun. They never even heard. Nobody's heard of Fern Gully. Like that's just it blows my mind. And people are like, well, it's an older. I'm like, yeah, but like like the Rescuers Down Under, right? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, The Little Mermaid. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, All Dogs Go to Heaven. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so these are movies too that came out like around the same time, that same era. You are aware. And I was just like, it's just Fern Gully is just like such a sleeper movie. And you start mentioning who's in the cast, and they're like, really? Like that sounds like a really popular movie. And you're like, yeah, it's a good movie. You should watch it. Um, so just even putting together like the movie nights, and then the fact that, like I said, this tutoring program has been wrapping up, and I'm like, been counting down the days. Like, okay, we got 9 days left, we got 6 days left, we got 3 days left. Trying to make them the best days, the most enjoyable days. Trying to get the most out of it. Coming up with fun experiments, flying kites, just doing anything we can to really leave a lasting impression with the students as we are wrapping up. And oh gosh, well, some of that even bleeds into the, disciplinary actions of it. We had some students who just, like I said, it's been a year of listen, listen, listen to me, listen to me. And so we actually had to remove a few students too, which is just like it's exhausting. Like the work and the effort, the back and forth, putting together like okay, what did they do, and all. It's just it's a lot of moving pieces. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff involved. Um, but it's also part of again making sure that the tutors are comfortable, the students are comfortable, everybody's like in an environment where they feel like they can learn, get something out of it. And then also, we reward the tutors and the students at the end with like, food and pizza and party and all that. And it's like, why would we want to extend an invitation to those who just can't seem to, um, you know, fit into the flow of what we are trying to accomplish? So, um, it's been a lot, like I said, trying to wrap all of this up, and I think a lot of it didn't give me the time to process like man this is it, this is all coming to a head. And so yesterday being the first of the month but also being the last day of star, it was a really weird bleed in Venn diagram kind of a moment where it's like wow, like okay, this month is beginning but one thing is ending, and this month beginning is also kind of um, the sign, if you will, the the starting point of this next piece ending as we come into like end of the year, like ceremonies and celebrations and wrapping up the clubs and all of that and our final summer trip. And it's just like wow, it's like okay, this is the start of the end, if you will. Really hard to kind of process and put it all into pieces like that, but um, like I said yesterday, it was able to all kind of click at a really weird moment, and just highlighted again by like my supervisor's attention to kind of like highlighting me and recognizing me and all of that. So um, yeah, just a huge heavy day and just a lot, like I said, kind of going on and processing. So anyway, just kind of wanted to share a lot of this with you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Really do. I got a busy one. We got that spring overnight trip that I was talking about this weekend. So I'm really just looking forward to Sunday, wrapping that up. It's May the 4th. So May the 4th and May the 4th be with you guys. Hope you get some Star Wars time in. I'll be dropping some Star Wars stuff here later on. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave a comment on the video. And make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you take care of each other. Until next time, guys, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Take care. Bye-bye.